Is there blood? Who's killing who? Where do they get shot? I have to see. Things are really starting to get exciting. Yes, 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 yes!
What's up guys, I'm Noob Genesis, or in this particular video, I might be known as XXX Genesis XXX, or XVX Genesis XVX, I don't fucking know. But anyway, the reason I say that is because in this video I'm going to be doing a WoW modding tutorial. For those that don't know, I used to do a lot of WoW modding, and I mean a hell of a lot. And I used to really enjoy it, but I ended up getting burnt out on it and I quit for quite some time, probably over a year now. So I figured I'd try and just do something simple. This video is going to be fairly simple and you just need to know one or two things prior to it and that's about it. But anyway, basically what we're going to be doing is the character create screen on World of Warcraft. We are going to be changing it so it has a new button. You're going to add a button to it and I'll just run this quickly. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. I've got my own personal server running in the background, but this can be done on normal, on Blizzard servers and everything like that, if you want to. But like, it only affects your client, so it doesn't actually affect the server or anything like that. But anyway, we're going to make it so these two panels here get shown and hidden when you click this button. And this is just a very simple thing, but it can be adapted into do many other things. Like I've made it so I've had multiple different pages for your character create screen and whatnot. But anyway, before we get into that, the prerequisites is basically you just need to know how to patch your client, because you're gonna have to edit two interface files. So you're gonna have to know how to export the interface files and to repatch them or put them back into your client. And there's two optional things you can also do with this. Is I'm using a cracked WoW.exe, and I'll leave a link in the description below on how you can do that or how you can get that done. And basically it means that you don't have to actually patch anything. It can read straight at your folders instead of the patches. And this comes as the highest level. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry about it. But if you do, you'll know that's kind of handy. And secondly is this thing here. I've got this script that I use. It's a pretty popular one. It's been released for a long time. It's not mine, but I use it. It basically deletes your cache in your WoW folder, so it makes it so that everything is up to date with what the most recent files you have are before opening WoW. And when it opens WoW, it has this part here, -console. Now this thing is very handy. Basically it means that I can just hit the tilde key and type in a command and it reloads the whole page and loads the last save files rather than having to restart your client every time. And it's great for interface work. But anyway, let's open this straight up again. And this is going to pop up when you use that .bat, but you can just close it because it all happens really fast. And anyway, this video might take a bit longer than usual because I'm talking slower than I normally do. I know I'm still talking pretty fast, but I'm talking slower in this particular video because I know the site that I'm normally on is Modcraft. I know that's like a multi-language thing, so multiple people are on there from different countries. And if I talk extremely fast like I normally do, it can be a bit of a pain for people to understand. But anyway, so what we're going to want to do first up is we're going to make another button right here. In fact, we're going to make two buttons, but I'll explain that in a minute. But we want them to be a lot like the accept button. So what we need to do is we need to go to the interface folder, glue XML, and we're going to open up two files, the character create.lua and character create.xml. Now, as I said, I want to make it so it looks a lot like the accept button. What better way to do that than to copy the accept button, right? Whoops. And I'm using Notepad++ because it's just amazing. And you have no idea until you've used it how amazing Notepad++ is. So anyway, we want the accept button. So let's go accept. And ta-da, there's the accept button right here. And what we're going to do is we're just going to copy this. And I'm going to scroll down a little bit and you can see it frames. This is where the end of all the frames is. So we want to add it above this, but the next button is the back button and we want to add it below the back button. So we're just going to paste that there. Now we've got a few things to edit. First thing is the text that comes up. So I want this to say show. And then we need to change the button's actual name. And this naming thing is very important. You've got to get everything correct. Otherwise it may screw up when you do it in the other file. So it's using capitalization. I'm going to do the same to keep it neat. And it's easier to memorize when you are doing it consistently. So that's also called show. And the last thing is this here. This is important because this is the actual script that's going to run. This is the function. You're going to write a function in here soon. And this is when you click the button, it's like, okay, do this. And you need to have this correct. So I've got it written as show because that's, again, simple. So now if I save this, and now you get to see the beauty of this reload UI thing, or the console command thing. Reload UI. Bang. There's the show button there. It's overlapping the accept button, but that's okay, because we're going to move it right now. And hang on a sec. Good old water. So I'm going to go 256. I like to keep it, so I want to keep it at the same height as the accept button, by the way. So I'm just going to be just changing the X coordinate, which is like the left to right coordinates. And just so you know, I like to use it by the pretty much the 8 times table. So it's what you use for 8-bit binary and all that crap. I don't know if it's even called 8-bit binary, but it's what you use for 8-bit stuff. So it's like 0, 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, 512, 1024, etc. And the reason I like to do it in that format is because I'm on my 40-inch TV, and my actual resolution for the screen and for WoW is 1920 by 1024 or something like that. But as you can see, the 1024 it's all in that 8-bit format. So if you do it this way, it's nice and neat, and it keeps it all together, and you can kind of picture things a little easier. And it's also good to do it again consistently because it keeps a nice pattern. So if I go save, we're going to actually have a problem here. Reload, the button disappeared. Why? Because I accidentally sent it off the screen to the right. I sent it the wrong way. So this actually has to be minus 256. And if I reload again, bam, there's the show button right where I want it to be. It probably could be moved over a little bit more, but I don't really care. It's good enough. Now we actually need to add another button, and this one is the hide button. So we're going to copy this, and this is the reason I edited the first one, because we don't have to change much. All we got to change is the naming. So this needs to be hide. The text needs to say hide, because we actually want these buttons overlapping, and you'll see why soon, because I'm going to actually hide one of them, so they're never going to be showing at the same time, except for right now where I'm going to show you the example. So there we go, hide and show, they're both together. Easy enough. Now if I click on them, I'll get rid of that. If I click on them, you can see that it's actually got an error. That's because right now it's saying, okay, when you click on my button, do this. Problem is that doesn't exist. So now we're going to have to actually create that in Lua. Alright, so now we're on the Lua page. What we need to do first is, we don't want these buttons showing at the same time. So we're going to have these two info things that we're going to be hiding and showing. We want them to be shown when you first load it. So that means we don't want the show button to be showing, because if you have the show button when it's already showing, it's kind of stupid because you don't want to click that. What we want is the hide button to be showing, the show button to be hidden. And show and hide is going to be really annoying to say during this because it's going to get confusing. But anyway, what we're going to do is scroll down to this, character create on load self. So when this thing first loads itself, it's going to do it. But you can do it in that. You can do it on show as well. I think I'm going to do it in on show. I'm pretty sure you can do it in on show. I know you can do it in load. But the reason I'm going to do it in here, actually I'll do it a bit lower, is because if I do it in here, I'm pretty sure whenever you load up the page, so whenever you go between this page and this page, it redoes it. Because otherwise, I think if you have these hidden and you go back and then you're back to this, it's still got them hidden when you come back. Whereas if you've got it on shown, it actually does it more professionally, I guess. So anyway, what we want to do is we want to grab the name of the button, which is char create show button. And we place that right here, and all we do is we just go hide. And you've got to put a semicolon at the end, otherwise it'll fuck up. So don't forget to do that. And that's where most of people's problems are going to be. They're going to forget to put a semicolon. Now if I go reload, ta-da! The show button's hidden. Now if I go like this, I'm just curious. Yeah, it's still going to be hidden. All good. So that's what we want to do first. Now what we need to do is we actually need to create our functions. So what we're going to do is, again, we're going to look for the accept button. And this is something I want you to look at. There's no accept button. Because if you remember, if you look here, this is what the script is called, or the function is called. Character create OK. So we want to type in OK, and if we go back to this one, find. That's not it, that's just another thing that uses that same function, but there it is just here. So we want to do a similar thing to this. So I'm just going to copy this, and underneath the back button again, I'm going to paste it and delete all of it except the play sound, because, well, when you click the button, you want it to play a sound, because all the other buttons do that, so why the hell not? And we're going to do this again just because we need to do two buttons. So the first one, let's rename them show and hide. If you didn't name them show and hide here, name these things the exact same, because they've got to be the same, otherwise the function's going to be calling the wrong function. But anyway, first thing first we want to do is when you click the show and hide button, you don't want the other button to be showing, otherwise they're going to overlap. So we're going to make it so first when we click hide, it's going to show the show button. So again, the button was called char create show button, I think. Then we go show, and don't forget the semicolon. You don't need a semicolon at the end of the functions, but you do for the actual things in the functions. I think this is right. But we also need it to go, actually I'll do it in the other order, because I want it to hide the button first. This is going to happen so fast, so you're not even going to see it, but I like to keep it in order, just to keep it nice and neat. And in some cases later on, if you do a much bigger script, it might actually matter. Right now it doesn't matter, but it's good habit to do. So I just put it in order, reload the UI, hide, show. Now the show button doesn't do anything because we only wrote what we need to do for the hide button. So now we do the same thing. We're just going to copy these, copy, paste, and we're just going to change it around. So this one on top, god damn it, and we're going to change this to hide, and this one to show. Now reload the UI again. Hide, show, there we go. Easy enough. Now that's just doing that. Now all we're going to do is do the same thing for these. We just got to add them to these things. So what we just did here with the show hide, now we're going to go get the name for these. I know what these names are already, so that makes it kind of easy. But if you're doing more experimentation with this, you can go a lot further with it, and you have to go and find the button yourself. So, but anyway, I know what these are called. So we want character create, character race. We need to do that. That is this one here, and then the same thing but just class at the end is all we need to do. So now for the show button, we need this to go there, and we just go show that and show that, except we just go class and copy that down to here, and we need to do the same thing but hide. Oops. And make sure you use capitals. You don't want it to be like that, otherwise it won't work. It's got to be a capitalized H and S and all that stuff. So this stuff's tedious bitches, but it does help a lot. Like, it makes a big difference. So anyway, if I reload the UI now, ta-da! It's that fucking simple. But yeah, you can do this with so many things. Like, I've done it so, I've had it so there's, like with the interface editing, so you've just got to choose your race and class on the first page. Then you go, I made a next and back button. So you go next, and then you have to do your customization stuff down here, except it's on another page and all this stuff's hidden. And then you also choose your gender, all that type of stuff. You can do a whole bunch of creative stuff with this, and you can go so much further if you know how to do DBC editing and all that stuff. But this is just a very basic thing, so if you want to experiment with it, go ahead. But anyway guys, I'm going to put this at the end of this video. I might do another video later on, going more into this, like build on top of this and do what I just said basically. I might end up doing that. But anyway, hope you enjoyed the video.